Hello my soul interns, welcome to the Utsukushi Grim channel. You can call me Grim, and I made a Pokemon region based in Ultra Space. Pokemon Sun and Moon is my second favorite generation of the games, but there's one thing in the sequel, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, that I wish we could have explored more. In Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, you meet the Ultra Recon Squad. You travel through wormholes, eventually leading you to the Ultra Megalopolis, a full city set in Ultra Space. However, in the game, you only go to the top of Megalo Tower to fight Necrozma. We never get to explore more than that, and like I said, there's a whole city! So I was like, I'ma make a whole region. My original plan a few years ago was that you would be a young recruit attending a training school under the Ultra Recon Squad. The legendaries were gonna be themed around biological beings versus robots. And then Scarlet and Violet came out where you attend a school and the theme was ancient beings versus robots. There's even some designs I had to scrap because of Scarlet and Violet. For example, I had a poison rock type based on Calcantite, and then Glamoura looked like this. Anyway, welcome to the Romeda Region. A region based on Andromeda. Either the galaxy or constellation both work. The map is currently a work in progress, but its layout is based on the Andromeda constellation, flipped upside down. This region is not set on the same planet as our Pokemon's regular Earth. Instead, it is in a completely different galaxy, somewhere in Ultra Space, with the same atmosphere to the Ultra Megalopolis. Here in the Romeda region, blue and purple skin is actually the norm. You, our protagonist, are a local citizen of Romeda. You wake up in your hometown, a quaint blossoming of glowing mushrooms and mushroom homes. This is Mushi Town, where you were born and grew up with your half-sibling, Milky. So let's meet Milky. Milky is not a local. You don't know where Milky really came from, and neither does she. Your mother found her as a baby and you two grew up as siblings. She's timid and shy, but something inside her shines with determination and longing. She's about the same age as you, and she often plays with a special-looking Meowth that visits the house. She always said Meowth looked familiar, but she doesn't know why. For Milky's design, I based her on the Moo Moo milk bottle, for a play on the Milky Way, since unlike you and most of the people in Romeda, she isn't born in this galaxy. Her cloak is buttoned with a special flower-like cloth that might hint to her origins. After eating breakfast, you look at Milky and she looks a bit concerned. She shyly denies any trouble and talks about the professor, whose facility is nearby. Milky says she has a lot of questions for him. Questions she's been waiting a long time to ask. You and Milky regularly attend Pokemon classes hosted by Professor Tupelo in his home/lab. He is a man of mystery and extremely knowledgeable on Pokemon. He also walks kinda funny. With his Rotom, he studies Pokemon relationships and how Pokemon of different species communicate and live harmoniously with each other. Your mother also says that he is the one that introduced the idea of living in harmony with Pokemon as trainers to the Romeda region. After the lessons of the day are complete, the professor has a surprise. Alright everyone, today is the day! Let's see how you do with a partner Pokemon. Time for picking. Who's you choosing? Let's meet the starting partner Pokemon for you to choose on your brand new adventure in the Romeda region. Since our dex is kind of a free-for-all being set in Ultra Space, the theme for our starters that I chose was the heart, the mind, and the soul. Our grass starter will represent the soul. Meet Vhino, the wooden Pokemon. Vhino's horn can sense souls and emotions. However, they are still clumsy at this stage and get attached to trainers easily. Vhino is based on voodoo dolls and the Siberian unicorn, which these themes will be clearer when Vhino evolves. Originally, Vhino looked more mammal-like, but I felt it wasn't unique or interesting enough, so I made his body wood, and as the professor notes, it's surprisingly quite light. This is because Vhino's body is hollow inside. Another thing you will notice with the starters is that they are all round boys. It will be a pure grass type with the ability Overgrow and a new hidden ability, Determined Soul. I'll explain more about this ability later because all three starters will have new hidden abilities. Our fire starter will represent the heart. Meet Ribbulse, the bounce Pokemon. Ribbulse are extremely hyperactive and seem to bounce non-stop. While trainers find joy being with Ribbulse, their activeness can get concerning. And don't worry, this Pokemon won't die if it stops bouncing like Spoink. but it doesn't have a long lifespan. So unfortunately, it's not that often that you see a Ribbulse evolve. The Ribbulse line was originally meant to be based on emotions and Bianlian, but I scrapped that idea and I might use that reference for my second region. Ribbulse is now based on a heart, the organ, and its evolutions will be loosely based on Bastet. That's why it's got little paws and like a tail, you see that? Ribbulse is also based on like that heart and ribbon motif that's seen often in media. The professor knows that it's too fast to catch up, which explains its high speed stat. Ribbulse will be a pure fire type with the ability Blaze and a new hidden ability, Pure of Heart. Finally, our water starter will represent the mind. Meet Elesplash, the big ear Pokemon. Elesplash are very timid but extremely intelligent. They have photographic memory and are attentive to those around them. I know elephant, especially water elephant, and especially starters, is a pretty common theme for fakemon, but I wanted to give my interpretation a try. Its first stage doesn't make it obvious, but its evolutions will be based on meditation. It's also loosely based on Ganesha. Despite their timid personality, because of their attentiveness to people around them, they make great emotional support Pokemon. How are you liking the starters so far? Picked your partner yet? Let's get to what your chosen starter will evolve into. And make sure to subscribe to see more Pokemon to add to your Romeda team along with your starter. For the second stages, I wondered what the Pokemon are based on to shine, so for Vhino's second evolution, I wanted it to have a spooky vibe with the button eyes and is more heavily based on straw voodoo dolls, also known as Waraningyo. Its horn grows longer as that will be the main focus of the final stage. I really wanted my starter evolutions to look different from the previous stages while keeping some elements like the color scheme, rather than just making it a bigger version of the previous stage. So let's meet Wooden, the straw doll Pokemon, with its name coming from voodoo and wooden. When Vhino evolves into Wooden, it will gain the ghost typing. The pins on Wooden's back enhance its soul connection to other Pokemon. Some Pokemon may grow tired from being near Wooden. Wooden's body is actually still made of hollowed wood like Vhino, just wrapped around in straw. The pins on its back are actually removable as they only serve as a focal point for Wooden to put their energy in. And when coloring, I made the lighting come from below to give it a spooky vibe, just like how the professor notes in these files. For Vhino's final stage, I wanted it to look more like the Siberian unicorn, also known as the Elasmodarium, I think I'm pronouncing that right, an extinct rhinoceros known for its extremely long singular horn. And similar to how Wooden's pins on its back are concentration points for them to focus energy on, Vhino's final evolution will have a large singular horn that it used to store and exude spiritual energy. Meet Wunicorn, the soul deity Pokemon, with its name coming from Wooden and Unicorn. All souls in close vicinity of Wunicorn will be connected to each other. It's often felt as peace, but if threatened, Wunicorn may take your soul away. Be careful. Like Wooden, it will be a grass and ghost type. And let's explain its new hidden ability, Determined Soul. When this Pokemon is sent into battle, it will immediately inflict a curse on the opponent. Pretty cool, right? It's like how Intimidate lowers your attack once the Pokemon enters the arena, but for a status condition instead. Its eyes are always glowing, showing how powerful Wunicorn's spirit and soul has become after getting to the final stage. Let's move on to our fire starter. As mentioned before, Ribbulse Evolution is based on Bastet, an Egyptian deity, which one of the titles they have is Goddess of Good Health, hinting to this evolution's dex entry. Unlike Ribbulse, I made the second stage have more cat-like features like Bastet, and the ribbons on Ribbulse now act as something like 4 legs on a cat, which may look kinda creepy if you think about it, but it can still float like Ribbulse. I gave it bigger feline eyes, and the rings around the arteries are like golden accessories. Meet Heart Paws, the ribbon Pokemon, with its name coming from heart, a badum, and a paws, a meow, and it also rhymes with heart pulse. If Ribbulse makes it to this stage, its lifespan increases significantly and it is more reserved. However, they remain playful. Keeping their cat-like personality, they create an orb of flame that they play around with. When Ribbulse evolves into Heart Paws, it will gain the fairy typing. For the final stage, I finally wanted to give this line its feline body, with its ribbons now acting like bandages like a mummy or bandaged wound. I also wanted to give it a look of royalty with the gold and accessories, as this is a Pokemon people worship and they have a proud personality. I also didn't want to give this fire Pokemon any like flames, as it's a more elegant Pokemon rather than a rowdy or rough fire Pokemon. Meet Kindles, the heart deity Pokemon, with its name coming from Kindle the flame, and the tss at the back is from another spelling of Bastet. It is found in old scriptures that Kindles were once worshipped as gods from another planet. The cloth on them is their lifespan. Just like Hardpaws, Kindles will have secondary typing of Fairy, and let's explain its ability, Pure of Heart. Pokemon with this ability will not be affected by any status conditions such as paralysis or poison. Along with their high speed, because their bodies are soft and mostly made of cloth, they are extremely flexible and like to squeeze in any place they can, like a cat. They retain their enthusiasm for life like the first stage evolution Ribbulse, just cinnamon elegance away. Lastly, our water starter. The water starter was probably the hardest for me to design, with the challenge of making something unique from other elephant fakemon designs. I wanted to base it on waterfall meditation and Ganesha, and my original thought was to make it balance on water that it spouts from its trunk, but I went with a more unique silhouette of making a water dome, covering its head and attempting to make a lotus flower like a pond. Meet Mistrunk, the bubble Pokemon. When Elesplash evolves into Mistrunk, it will gain the secondary typing of Psychic. Their name comes from Mystique and Trunk, and also Water Mist. Mistrunk form a bubble dome around their head that bounces off noise. This is to help it focus its mind and to train its mental powers. The professor also notes that he couldn't put his hand through the water dome. This shows how powerful this water dome is, but don't worry, during relaxation or sleeping time, it doesn't form the dome around it. So don't worry, your bed sheets are fine. For Elesplash's final stage, I really wanted this to look different from the last two stages, as I did feel that the second stage and the first stage did look a bit similar if not for the water dome on Mistrunk. Now that Elesplash has become a master at mental strength and meditation, it forms a solid shape of water on its head that sprouts a big lotus flower. Its hands and legs are now united in a meditative formation, and it gains a third eye. Meet Panipati, the mind deity Pokemon, with its name coming from Pani, which is water in Hindi, and Ganapati, another name for Ganesha. Panipati are known to be extremely relaxed in high-tension situations. They have high intelligence and ability to calm others. They retain the typing of water and psychic type, and let's explain its new ability, Ease of Mind. When a Pokemon has Ease of Mind, it prevents other Pokemon's moves or ability from lowering its stats. Because Panipati is so calm and doesn't move a lot of people think it's just sleeping. The water on its head and its ears also resemble the waterfall, like how I was describing the waterfall meditation method. So, now that we've seen the final evolutions of our Romeda Region starters, Vunicon, Kindles, and Panipati, who will you be picking on your adventure in the Romeda region? Let me know in the comments, and let me know if you enjoyed the story so far. Are you ready to discover what mystery the Romeda region holds? And are you excited to see what Pokemon the Romeda region has? I'm excited to show you all. Also, if you really want to, let me know if you enjoyed the format of this video, or if there's anything I should improve on. Thank you my soul interns for watching this video on the Romeda region. Oh, happy day!